Friends, I welcome you all. I will talk to you now in simple words about the human life, the purpose of life, the limitations of life, the various dimensions of life, the eternal happiness, and so on. See, as human beings, we are given only a limited time on this earth, and almost all of us have the desire to do something meaningful out of it. See, the desire or the goal, however, it varies from individual to individual. It may be achieving the monetary success, fame, good family, spirituality, social service, etc., etc. And each one thinks in a different way, even to achieve a common goal. See, the acts of eating, sleeping, defending, etc., are similar to both humans and animals. But Dharma is the only special thing with human beings. See, Dharma refers to a sense of responsibility which arises from intelligence, which is a distinguishing factor between the humans and animals. Therefore, everyone lives his life to achieve a certain goal set by him. But however, most of these goals or purposes that people have set are extremely fickle. This is because of the inherent uncertainty of our lives. See, we have seen over the past years that a very, very, very small, minute virus, which we cannot even perceive with our eyes, it has caused a major havoc in the society. So, most often we forget the fact of our mortality and live our lives without thinking about the ultimate destination. See, although human beings have made tremendous technological progress, it has all been to facilitate or ease the process of eating, sleeping, defending, and providing comforts. So, our life cycle begins from birth. Then we get some education to earn some money, get married, make children. We work hard to provide them with all their necessities and ultimately die. See, nowadays, in the name of westernization, the children leave their parents and go as soon as they grow. So many parents will die alone. See, people strive so hard to attain fame, but the irony of that is that no matter how talented you are, you can never claim to be respected and appreciated by everyone. Therefore, how can anyone claim to be famous? Even in our families, out of our so called loved ones, not everyone respects us. So, even those who achieve some fame, they also fall into the depression when something negative is spoken about them. See, therefore, living a life of false fame and prestige, it is only living in illusion because of the temporary nature of our bodies. So all these designations, the engineer, doctor, scientist, or say a father, mother, son, daughter, etc., etc., they are only associated with the body, and they will also disappear when this body disappears. So it is best to detach ourselves from such designations and walk on the path of self-realization of life. All of us by default, as described in the Vedas and Upanishads, they are the only way we derive pleasure. So it is through senses we derive our pleasure by seeing something beautiful, by hearing something melodious, by smelling something fragrant, by tasting something delicious, or by touching something soothing. So such pleasures, however, are very short lived, not of a permanent nature, and people who have everything they desire, they can watch, I mean, any movie on the planet, they can hear any song, eat any food, they can have everything unlimited. But even after all this, they are not satisfied. So, should we really hanker and work so hard for satisfying our senses, which only gives us fleeting pleasures, and sometimes even pain. So, not that we should totally leave all this, but overindulgence in sense gratification and being guided by the pleasure for the senses, it is totally wrong. So, that's why Vedas speak of the body as analogous to a chariot carried by five horses. So, the five horses are the five senses of the human body. And the mind, the driver of the chariot, is the intelligence, and the spirit soul is seated on the chariot. See, in the name of westernization, we see even in countries like India, a number of people opting for bad habits, leading to all kinds of ailments, diseases of the lung, heart, liver, the loss of consciousness, hangovers. So, should we really risk our lives? And moreover, this human body indulging in acts of sense gratification and intoxication, is it really required at all? So people are born on this earth either rich or poor, but none of that wealth, inherited or procured or earned, is his. And when he dies, the wealth he has accumulated during his lifetime is again passed on to somebody and dies without wealth. So people spend so much time and energy accumulating large amounts of money and property in the name of future investments. But ultimately, we only need 6 feet of land. We should realize that. We fight for money. Wars are fought for money. But ultimately, for what? Do you live permanently on this earth? No. Do you live for 1,000 plus years? No. So we work hard to earn so much money and then live in anxiety that someone might steal it. Invest that money into security systems to protect that. And the cycle goes on. But to avail what? All that a person requires is what is required to maintain himself and his family by having a comfortable place to live, good food, good health, and some recreation, and nothing more. So why do we need a multi-storied mansion? Why do we need luxury cars? Why do we need to eat in expensive restaurants every day when we can easily cook much better and healthier meals at home? So how many rich people doing all this, having all this in the world are really happy? So every one of us always we dream of achieving something or the other, but this achievement gives us happiness only for a very short time. Is life really about moving from one goal to the next? So, the achievement of which gives only a small amount of happiness in comparison to the amount of effort one puts in. So, the return on investment in terms of happiness is very limited. So, today we are trying to solve the problems of global warming, extraterrestrial terrestrial travel, information technology, and so on. But even if such problems are solved, would it really make us happy? The comfortable lives we are now living, it may become more comfortable. But are these the real problems of our lives? Can we claim to prevent the deaths of our loved ones? Can we prevent someone from contracting any diseases? What is more, we are living in a world where almost every day a new disease emerges. And some, like the COVID 19, destroy the structure of our lives as we know it. So, can we claim to stop aging? They have created various beauty products and cosmetic surgeries which make one look younger for some time, but eventually everyone gets wrinkles, the body pain, the organ failures, and other ailments associated with the old age, which we cannot prevent. We work hard only to have our theories rewritten by someone else in the future. What is the use of such a knowledge which does not help us to face and solve the real problems of life? So, why should we work hard? Only for the better life of sense gratification in the future. for the satisfaction of our senses, the sensory organs. So we all need support and company of like-minded people in our lives to make us feel positive and keep us motivated. But we see that no relationship in this world is, devoid of differences. So people often celebrate differences, that is, to debate over different points of view and always agree to disagree. So this eventually leads to misunderstandings, arguments, and often such relationships also fall apart. So in ancient India, the tradition of joint families was very prevalent. However, we see in the modern era that people are moving more and more towards the nuclear families, which is an indirect indication of their differences in their thinking. We see that relationships where the basis is something higher than either of the individuals, they lost, they continue. While those which are based simply on the pleasure each person derives from the other, they don't last long. So the reason for this is very simple. No two people in this world are perfectly compatible, since each individual has uh, his or her benefits and desires, which eventually lead to conflict, and therefore the relationship breaks. So the conceptions that we create based on this body, human body, they are only temporary because this body is subject to death. So therefore we should strive for an eternal relationship, the information of which is provided to us in the Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavatam, in our Vedas and Upanishads. So many people in the world, they depend on philanthropy as a means of satisfaction. That is helping, that is goodwill to fellow members of the human race. So this may take the form of monetary donations, motivational lectures, food distribution, etc. Although these are the acts of kindness where the donor, he does not expect anything in return, but still, whether this is a real help at all. We know that, see, it is said that give a man a lunch and dinner, he will eat for a day. Teach a man how to earn his food, on the other hand, then you feed him for a lifetime. So we are only hankering after temporary happiness in our relationships with other people. Therefore, the Vedic literatures, they state that our real form is that of spirit soul. And the nature of this soul is that of eternal happiness and full of blissful knowledge. So, therefore, self realization it entails one to realize our true nature and go beyond the bodily pleasures which are available even to the animals. So, this knowledge can only be obtained through Vedic literature or through a bona fide spiritual master, guru. So, the real philanthropy, therefore, is to help our fellow humans realize the importance of this human form of life and to lead them on the path of self realization. We should endeavor, therefore, to find a better way of life. Otherwise, we will simply continue living the way the entire world is and realize the futility of everything that we have done only on our deathbeds. Therefore, we have to purify our senses and direct them towards self realization. When we realize our true self and our relationship with the Supreme Self, the God, the Almighty, we elevate ourselves to the platform of eternity that is blissful and full of knowledge. So, the process of self realization is explained clearly in the Vedic scriptures like the Bhagavad Gita, the Vedas, Upanishads. So, we have to at least read these books just as we read a book of moral stories, which would certainly be highly beneficial to the mankind. And although these books were written over thousands of years ago, they are still relevant in today's age of technology because of the eternal nature of our spiritual identities. So there is no cost involved in doing this. but we are going to get a lot of benefit. So, friends, thank you very much. May God bless you with an enlightened heart and mind, leading you to the right path.